ELEAF LEMO, new tank, and it might kill the fogger. What's up, everybody out there? It's the ever reputable brother Kevin in the house. I've got a hardware review for you today. It is going to be the ELEAF LEMO. The ELEAF LEMO is a tank. It is similar to a K-Fun setup. It has a single coil, whereas the fogger has a dual coil. Size of it, you're going to be looking pretty much the same thing as a fogger. There's a fogger side by side with the LEMO. I will say that the LEMO is a little bit bigger round than the fogger is. I will say the LEMO does hold a little bit more juice, and the airflow is tons better. You can go from absolutely nothing to zero airflow to like an EVOD for say, or you can even go wide bore, and it's like a dripper almost. I haven't had any dry hits on it either, and I haven't had any seeping whatsoever. It is very interesting how they've produced it into here. We're going to dive up and close. We're going to take a good look at it. We're going to come back, and then we'll talk about it, get some pros and cons on it, and see what we think about it. Alright, let's go ahead and dive down low. Here it is, the ELEAF LEMO. That is correct, the ELEAF LEMO. I have a little bit of juice left in here. I did drain it somewhat, so let's go ahead and break this bad boy down. Start by pulling the drip tip out, and it's actually a nice drip tip. I don't recommend putting anything else on it. I don't mind it. It's good. And then we unscrew the bottom portion, which is where your 510 connection is. Now, neat thing, the bottom piece that does have your connector for your 510, it let's just go ahead and say it's got this on the bottom, so it says not to throw it in the trash, whatever. Adjustable 510. This little well right here, what this does, if you have your condensation that usually draws around your air hole on your say your K-Fun or your fogger, this right here is where your condensation will actually collect. This is like a juice well down here to collect any kind of seepings or any kind of stuff like that. And let me go and just clean it out real quick. I'm basically going to re-wick this. The build is absolutely perfect on there for me. First time that I built on it, and I did get it correct. So let me I'll clean the pieces off as I take it apart. So the next spot up, and this one's going to be the messy one. So to take it off, we're just going to unscrew just like a K-Fun would or the fogger would. You just unscrew it like this. But let's go ahead and talk about this down here. The screw that you see, the Phillips, is your fill hole for your juice. Let's talk about the elephant in the room here, the airflow. In order for me to adjust this airflow, right now it is pretty much closed. So if I want to make it more, I then turn this little knob here to the plus. There's a arrow that's etched in here, and there's a plus and there's a minus. So I would turn it to the plus, and then I would vape on it and see how it was. If it was too much, then I would turn it back down. This spins very easily, and I thought for sure that this would actually undo itself as I used it, but never had that issue with it. So that's that. Your fill hole does not have let's see here, I'll take it out for you so you can see what we got. Your fill hole doesn't have like a beveling to it, so it's just kind of a hole there, and it's not the easiest to fill. But if you've got any of the drip tips on your bottles that have the longer tips on them, it'll work. It even works with the ones with the little stubbies on it, but it does make a little mess inside here. You clean it out and you're good to go. Let's go ahead and open this up. Just unscrews, and there's your O-ring that sits inside of the top cap. We'll put the top cap over here. My O-ring is stuck to the glass. That's okay. And then glass comes off. Put that off to the side, and immediately you'll see a difference from a K-Fun from a fogger. The chimney, the actual chimney part on this is very big, much bigger than a K-Fun, much bigger than the fogger's top chimney. It's actually a really good size. This also comes off just like a K-Fun, just like a K-Fun and a fogger. So this kind of gives you some kind of reference in here too about how big it is. Oh, we need more reference, Brother Kevin. Okay, here's the little mini screwdrivers. I can throw this little mini screwdriver all the way through the hole. That's a little bit of atomizer porn right here. That's right, I did it. Let's just take a look inside of here. Can't really see that good, but like I said, it is very similar to a K-Fun build. I'm going to go ahead and unscrew this bottom portion here. Oh yeah, FYI, threads, really good on this. I've had this build on here all week, and I haven't noticed how your wicks usually get really nasty. This doesn't really get that nasty. Must be okay. So I'm going to pull my cotton out, which is the Kumo cotton. I believe Steven puts that cotton. He sells it on the Beantown Vapor website. Very good organic cotton. I'd probably say a little bit better than the Cellu cotton. A little bit better. I just personally like the way it wicks. So let me go ahead and throw this bottom piece on, and I'm going to burn off the nasty residue of other juices off of my coils. Okay folks, so there we have it. Here is the build deck on the ELEAF LEMO. Like I said, there are two holes to put your Kanthal to run through. I, however, opted to go on the top like a K-Fun does, just because I've built the K-Fun and I preferably like the K-Fun setup instead of having to run the wire all the way from the side up to the top. It is pretty much the same thing as a K-Fun deck. However, that airflow hole in the middle is a lot bigger. So now we're up to this part. This is a 30 gauge dual, so it's two wires, and I build it parallel. You run them side by side and you wrap your wires like that, and it basically gives you the same thing as a dual coil. So let's go ahead and wick it. I've got my Kumo cotton right here. Good stuff. What I like to do is just pull a piece of the cotton apart, so you basically will get two pieces of cotton. And I'll get this first one, and I'm just going to twist the end of it just a little bit. I'm not really going to use this end for anything. Pull it through and then be done with it. This is a little micro coil, nothing crazy. Pull it through. Oh, that's perfect. That is perfect right there. I've got my snippers right here, and I'll just go ahead and take this off right into this area, and I'll do the same over here and just take a little bit of the edge of it off, dumping that off to the bottom. Let's go ahead and get our chimney, and I'm gonna pick my wings up and I haven't tried to wick it into the holes like I do on the fogger. It just seemed to work very well in K-Fun mode, should I say. So I just stayed with that. So I screw this on. What I like to do is I like to keep a lot of wick in here. So what I'll do is I'll leave both of my tails off of the backside in here, just like so, and I'll just kind of pack it down, not really pack it, just lightly press it into there. But I like to fold this bottom edge and make sure that this is the edge that will be in the bottom. I don't want to push it in here so that it's a side of the cotton. I want the edges of this cotton in there. We'll pull it away from here and I make like a little tuck. I know my finger's kind of blocking, it's kind of hard to do. So see how I got it kind of tucked right there? Now I know it'll just go right down into the bottom, and I use my little micro screwdrivers to press it down in there. You know, don't force it in there, just let it hang out. It just wants to play the game. You just gotta let it hang out. Let's go with the secondary. I'll grab this one and we'll fold it over on itself. Brother Kevin, this looks like too much cotton. It's not, dude. It'll be just enough. Okay, got that. Folding it over. And I'm just going to tuck it in down there. And what you end up with is this beautimous piece in here. Look at that. So let's go ahead and wick this little coil here. And what will we use to wick it? Let's see here. I've got so much juice laying around. Oh, I know what I'll use. Senseless plug. Why don't we just bait it up with some of this lemon from Beantown Vapor? Oh yeah. And FYI, it is as good as I made it out to be. I'm gonna go ahead and just throw a little dripper in here, drip it up, drip it up. I like to put some all over it, get it nice and wet. And then what I usually like to do is fire it to see if I'm getting that beautiful V coming out of the bottom. There it is. See how it makes almost two streams coming out of there? That's what I like. I like it like that. When I do that and I see it making two streams, I know I did a good job. So let's put some more juice in here. Is it overkill? Yeah, I just overkilled it. Okay, next comes our chimney. Let me go ahead and clean my chimney out of there. Cleaning it as I go. It's the first time it's been apart since I got it. Chimney just screws right on, no problem. Let me go ahead and get the tank portion, the glass. And let me clean the glass out. Hey, it's pretty clean. And then we have the top portion, which is our top cap, the top of the tank, the atomizer. It does have the O-ring, and I will set this O-ring back into here. Do I have a screwdriver to press it down? Yeah, I got one of those. Press it down. Then this top will screw onto this. And your ELEAF LEMO is basically back together. Let's go ahead and put a feel on it, man. I'll unscrew it off of the base. When I fill this, this is what I like to do. I'll grab my little screwdriver and I'll go ahead, whenever I'm building it, I keep it locked. Also, to drain it, I'll close the airflow all the way down so that I can blow the juice out of this fill hole. So I'm going to go ahead and just unscrew the airflow just a little bit to release the pressure as I pump the juice into the tank. So let me turn the air hole, so the fill hole, so you can see it as I fill it up. Lemon coming in the hole. Here we go. With a dripper, it makes it absolutely easy. Dropping on in. How many does it hold, Kevin? Well, let me tell you, there's one, there's two. It looks like it'll be 9. I usually stop just short of the top. Here comes number 9. Okay, that's good enough. Number 9. So it holds roughly 9 droppers in there off of the Beantown dropper because the juice is very thick and it doesn't pull it all the way in. Okay, so let me get the my fill screw and put my fill screw back in here. Mini screwdrivers. I really use these a lot. Mini screwdrivers in. I'm going to go ahead and wipe out the excess juice that'll hang around in here. And it looks pretty good. And then I'll go ahead and open this. What I've found is like 4 turns, maybe 3 turns, and you're good to go. That is going to be perfect. Put this guy back on here. And let's go back up top and we'll tell you how she does. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about it real quick. ELEAF LEMO, I believe $33 is one of the prices I've seen for it. I don't think that was shipped or whatnot, but anyways, Fogger, I think it's $35. So roughly same price. Pros, let's go ahead and knock them out, man. Drip tip comes off, put a new drip tip. That's a pro. Capacity of juice, it's a pro. It holds more than the Fogger. Airflow, way better airflow than the Fogger due to the fact that it can do what it does. It can go from nothing to full bore. Ease to build. It's just a K-Fun build is really all it is. And I do like that the posts do have holes. As you see, I did not use the holes because I was used to my K-Fun and I just did it the way I did it. And it works fine just like that. Looks. The aesthetic look of it. I actually like the look of it. The aesthetic look of this tank more than I like a Fogger. I really do. And then let's talk about the size of it. I like the size of it, and I like that it's got a full window so that I can see all the juice that I'm getting in and out of it. Better than what the Fogger is. You're kind of just limited. You really don't know what's up in top of that area that you can't see in there. Let's get into cons. Airflow is also a con. As it is a pro, it is also a con. And the reason why I say that, in order for me to adjust the airflow, I've got to pull it off and then adjust my airflow as according. And if you're messing with it to try to get that perfect airflow, it does take a little while because you've got to, you know, adjust it, see what your drag is like, adjust it again, see what your drag is like, adjust it again, see what your drag is like. Okay, I've got it. It's perfect. And once you do adjust it, I haven't had mine unscrew or tighten up on me at all, so I haven't had an issue with that. But it is somewhat of a hindrance to have to keep taking the tank off in order to change your airflow. Let's talk about flavor on a con here. I'd say the flavor is on par with the Fogger, okay? And with that being said, that really shouldn't be a con. But yes, the Fogger does have good flavor, as well as the Lemo. The Lemo does have good flavor also. But if you're coming from a K-Fun, going into a Fogger or a Lemo, or you're looking into one of the three, I still say that the K-Fun does have the best flavor. It is a better, warmer vape to me. I own a K-Fun Light, and I still believe that the K-Fun Light has a better flavor. But let's go ahead and throw those out into the ocean here, and let's see what fish jumps out on top. Who has the best capacity for juice? Lemo. Who has the best airflow out of all three of them? Lemo. Who has a better price? That's kind of right there. It's right there with the Fogger and the Lemo. Let's also talk about this other con. it is a little bit bigger. So with that being said, I've got my Sarah box, and this has a K-Fun light in it, and it fits absolutely spot on perfect. The fogger fits absolutely spot on perfect. The Lemo, however, does not fit spot on perfect, and it is probably due to this little ring that is on here is just a little bit wider than what the tank is, but actually the outside edge is also a little bit wider than what this glass is. The glass is the same size as what the fogger's full base is. So pros and cons, man. Everything's gonna have pros and cons. You know, everything. Do I recommend this tank? Yes, because I do say that this is a fogger killer. And let me tell you why. Because of that airflow. Because the airflow is so nice. And the biggest one for me, I use tanks at work. I don't like dripping anymore at work. I don't have to carry around so much stuff. I throw it on the little Vapor Shark and I got it on there. Done deal, dude. All day at work, 10 hours, no problem, right? When I was using my fogger, I had to kind of ration my juice using it due to the fact of I didn't want to vape myself out of a tank because I didn't want to carry juice with me to work. This right here lasts all day, no problem. It is just that little bit much more that the fogger did not have that makes it that much better to me. I recommend people getting the Lemo over the fogger. Yes, I know it is single coil, but dude, I've got a 30 gauge dual parallel in here, and it's throwing out at what? Let's see here. 1.3 ohms. I'm running 17 watts on this. It's good. It's good, dude. Get you a Lemo over the fogger. As always, everybody, go ahead and be my friend on Facebook. Subscribe to the videos. Go ahead and comment, man. I'm good for that. And then when you get done doing all the stuff, you subscribe to my video. And then you can keep calm and vape on.